Oh, hello. I did not see you there. Welcome to our project for American Literature to 1900. We will start you on a journey through all four of the periods. God, Aaron, you can't be laughing in the background, man. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to Adam and Aaron's project for American Literature to 1900. We will begin on a journey in the Puritan era and finish going all the way through realist writers. So here we go in the Puritan era. We start with Anne Bradstreet, who is a Puritan woman, who says, "The love is no way repay, the heavens reward, the manifest lad I pray." This is rare for Puritans to speak in heaven in such a light tone. They mostly believe that they're all going to go to hell. So it was kind of a sad religion. But anyways, she was a poet in the 1600s. She was a woman, which made it very rare for her to be a poet because not many women were poets. She also said, "Let the Greeks be Greeks and women what they are." So this kind of means that let everyone do what they want. Individualism. She showed individualism by not conforming to what the Puritans wanted of a woman of the time. In one of her in the prologue, she writes, "I am obnoxious to each carping tongue who says, 'On my hand a needle better fits.'" This is a prime example of individualism. Bradstreet refused to do what most women of the time period did, making things around the house and raising the children, as she instead wanted to be a poet.
Welcome. I am your second speaker, and for our Puritan era, I have Jonathan Edwards. The famous preacher Jonathan Edwards was quite opposite in regards to individualism and conformity to Bradstreet, as he represented more of the common perception of the era, and in this literature period, he encouraged unity and conformity, which can be seen through his sermons, as he stated, "Unconverted men walk over the pit of hell on a rotten covering." Edwards used straying away from norms as a tactic to frighten his congregation in his attempt to conform everyone to a single belief. As he said, "What would not those poor, damned, helpless souls give to one day such opportunity as you now enjoy?" He also stated that how awful it is to be left behind at such a day, to see so many others feasting while you are pining and perishing.
Is Ben Franklin. He was an enlightened thinker in the 1700s and was key in the American Age of Reason. He once said, "Being ignorant is not so much a shame as being unwilling to learn." He believed in learning things for yourself instead of accepting what others told you. He also wrote a book of aphorisms called Poor Richard's Almanac. One of his aphorisms was, "He that composes himself is wiser than he that composes a book." Ben Franklin also was a writer in the Constitution. Regarding the Constitution, he said, "The Constitution only gives you the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself." This shows that he did not want anyone to just be given something. He wanted each individual to gain it and earn it themselves. The Enlightenment was an individual movement. Ben Franklin's involvement in the Enlightenment shows his belief in the individual.
Thomas Paine greatly represented individualism within the Age of Reason, as he spoke for the United States as a whole, saying that men should not petition for rights but take them. Through the new, radical, and nationalist ideas of Paine, he encouraged a self-driven and self-inspired nation, as he stated that we have it in our own power to begin the world over again. And he also steered away from British ideals at the time to promote equality and individuality, stating that to give to every other human being every right that you claim for yours. This was different than the Puritan era, as It promoted new and radical ideas instead of conformity.
Waldo Emerson is the next author on our list. Emerson was a Romantic writer during the 1800s who led the Transcendentalism movement. He once said, "Do not go where the path may lead, but go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." This shows his belief in resisting conformity and being an individual and making your own path, or as he says, trail. He was also a lover of nature, as the Romantic writers were. He once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." This, once again, shows his resistance to conformity. One of the nonconformist things that he did was have a new view on religion. His religion said that all things were through God, therefore all things were divine. He was often criticized for this by leaders of other religions. He also believed in freedom for all people. He said, "We must be our own before we can be another's." So this pretty much means that you have to figure out yourself and be a good person before you can help someone else on what they need to do.
Edgar Allan Poe expresses individualism through mainly his writing style, as he expressed the gruesome horrors and terrifying experiences through the human mind, which proved to be very revolutionary for this literary area. He stretched the norms within society, putting influence on the individual instead of conforming. As he stated, the nose of a mob is its imagination. By this, at any time, it can be quietly led. Poe even went as far as saying, "Believe only half of what you see and nothing what you hear." Essentially saying to trust no one but yourself. Poe is known for his challenging on society through his works and day-to-day beliefs by embracing his character and even stating that "man have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest of intelligence." Frederick Douglass was another realist writer who expressed the restricted individual rights of black slaves. He showed how the society destroyed black individuals and their God-given human rights by saying that "I could, as a free man, look across the bay toward the eastern shore where I was born a slave." And he also stated that the rights of the individual could only be kept if the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous. As an important abolitionist during his time, he was different in other literature eras as he attacked the nation and he critiqued and attacked also society by stating that the rights of a human, let alone an African American, by saying that to suppress this free speech is a double wrong. It violates the rights of the hearer and also those of the speaker.
My final author is Walt Whitman. He was a realist writer during the 1800s. He was most as most realists believed that society needed improvements. He was once quoted saying, "There is no week, nor day, nor hour when tyranny may not enter upon this country if the people lose their roughness and spirit of defiance." This shows his individualism by saying not to conform to what the government tells you to do if it is tyrannical. And that is the standard that the country was formed on, so it fits well. For joining us on our trip, no, our adventure, no, our journey through American literature. Shout out to the GOAT for filming this. Thank you, have a nice day, and keep it real.